House of the Dragon has its own version of Game of Thrones' Jaime Lannister, and it actually bodes well for the latter's book future in The Winds of Winter. Jaime's fate in Game of Thrones ending proved to be one of the more divisive elements of Season 8, as he left Brienne of Tarth to go back to King's Landing and, eventually, die alongside his sister Cersei. Buried by the rubble of the Red Keep, it was a surprising conclusion for two of the show's best characters, but there's reason to believe his story in the books will go differently. For starters, the character is on a different path in George R.R. Martin's A Song of Ice and Fire novels. He's already rejected one chance to go back to Cersei, and the biggest question now is almost a reversal of Season 8, whether Brienne will betray Jaime for Lady Stoneheart, the resurrected form of Catelyn Stark who is hellbent on revenge for the Red Wedding. There are various theories on what will happen, but looking to House of the Dragon may help provide the answer. House of the Dragon's Criston Cole's parallels with Game of Thrones' Jaime Lannister. The two Lord Commanders of the Kingsguard are very similar. There are several similarities between Jaime Lannister and Criston Cole, with the latter fulfilling the same kind of role in House of the Dragon as the former did in Game of Thrones. Criston is the skilled knight who rises up to be Lord Commander of the Kingsguard. He's a person with a twisted moral compass who is involved in the realm's politics, and he's someone who has relations with a person he ought not to, although not going as far as incest, that he later comes to despise. Much like Jaime starts Game of Thrones as a villain, the same is true of Criston in House of the Dragon Season 1. While Jaime was more villainous from the outset, Criston quickly turns into one, going from Rhaenyra's sworn protector to someone intent on causing her downfall. Like Jaime would gladly kill someone undeserving of it, such as Jory Castle, or push a young boy from a window, the prequel's knight has no problem, say, beating a character to death, as seen when Criston kills Joffrey Lonmouth in House of the Dragon Season 1, Episode 5. In the A Song of Ice and Fire books, Jaime himself acknowledges the good and bad parts of Criston in a way that shows he even considers himself comparable. In A Feast for Crows, during a discussion about the Kingsguard with Ser Loras Tyrell, Jaime says that the best and the worst, and a few who were a bit of both, will be the ones who are remembered, pointing to Criston as the latter, with the clear implication to view Jaime in similar terms. Jaime Lannister is secretly the opposite of House of the Dragon's Criston Cole. That's why Lady Stoneheart can't kill him in The Winds of Winter. Nikolai Coster-Waldau as Jaime Lannister in Game of Thrones Season 8. For all the parallels between Jaime Lannister and Criston Cole, they are, in truth, very different people at their core. Jaime is someone who is aware of past mistakes, who makes some bad decisions but wishes he could be better, even if he cannot always achieve it. Criston, on the other hand, sees himself as a good person, but one who will gladly do any terrible deed in order to achieve his goals or those of the people he supports.